investigate. Fox 8 News starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Shelley Brown. We are looking at the threat of severe weather moving through southeastern Louisiana at this hour. The National Weather Service has issued tornado warnings and watches for parts of the region. We've got live cruising coverage all around the viewing area, and we'll bring you live reports as we get information from the South Shore, the North Shore, and from our storm chasing mobile unit that's on the ground.
If you are out on the roads right now, you definitely need to be getting to your safe place.
But as we make a right here, I hope you can see just a little bit, especially off to the right. This is that area that you're talking about, this wall cloud that perhaps had some rotation and perhaps even a funnel that was indicated not only on radar but also at the airport.
Rob Krieger's in Ama, where there are some damage reports coming out of St. Charles Parish.
Yeah, that's right. We're here on a neighborhood street in Ama. If you take a look behind me, you can see a roof. This is an awning from a patio from this house right here in St. Charles Parish that blew off this morning. You can check it out. It looks like it's almost completely in one piece right here. A little bit of damage along the sides, as you can tell. But we spoke with some neighbors, and they said this morning they heard just loud winds roaring through this neighborhood.
Yeah, Nancy, we're out here right in Kenner where the new Mount Bethel Baptist Church, you see right here, the back of the building has collapsed. We just talked to the pastor. You see just the bricks everywhere scattered along here. The pastor says around 10:30 this morning, he was told that the back of the building collapsed. We have not been able to talk to him about any damage inside of the building right now, but you can definitely see some major damage to the back of this building. So you could feel the truck getting lifted up?
Yeah, it feel like right the wind, it just, all the dirt and everything just come from over there, and you can feel all the darkness and the twirling, and it just felt like the truck got lifted up. So he told me to jump up and run that way, because we figured if we got back that way, I'll be safe. But I've never been in one, and I hope I'll never be in another one again.
It's the circulation with this storm, and the Weather Service just indicated to us that it appears to be increasing. So we could be seeing either a tornado with this, or certainly some significant wind damage as this storm continues moving to the northeast. Again, there's Convent, and here's Vacherie and Lutcher off to the south and east. And what we're going to watch, I think what we're getting now is a tornado debris signature. I've never seen this show up on our Viper radar. This symbol right here is a tornado debris signature. That is indicating that the radar is detecting not hail and not rain, but rather is detecting trees, dirt, and possibly debris, pieces of houses, automobiles, anything that could be blown up into the atmosphere. This circle right here is a tornado debris signature. And to my knowledge, Bruce, have you seen this on? We've never seen this before. This is a very significant indication that we have a large and damaging tornado somewhere just south of Donaldsonville and moving to the northeast. Breaking news real quickly, we're getting into Fox 8. St. James Parish Sheriff are reporting casualties, people injured, and possibly people trapped in debris in and around Convent. Right, Nancy? It was around Convent. I was picking up some of that from emergency management, but the St. James Sheriff Office has confirmed that we do have injuries out west and St. James.
The most pressing concern at the moment is in Convent at that RV park where there's been some serious damage. Rob Krieger is there live.
Yeah, we're here at the Sugar Hill RV Park on LA 44, just outside of Convent right now, where responders are responding to the scene. As you take a look, there's dozens of RV homes just toppled over, crushed, and in bits and pieces right now as first responders make their way into the scene. And we saw multiple residents traveling down the road with bags of clothes. Apparently they were told just to get out for the time being. The first responders have pushed back onto the levee. We're right here on the side of the Mississippi River, on the east bank side of the Mississippi River in Convent. But just take a look at the scene here. multiple fire departments here, several ambulances, as well as first responders from several different departments here on the scene trying to see what's happening here. Now, we were told that there were multiple injuries and possibly maybe even some people trapped as folks here are trying to figure out exactly what the damage is here. Now, take a look down LA 44. I'm going to get Lance to swing over to your left. You can see this is one of the biggest problems right now in responding to this. Multiple telephone poles just lying across the road right here. That's preventing the first responders from getting their vehicles in. They're having to either take the levee up, and some of those vehicles can't manage that levee hill down, or come around the other side, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty significant detour in a situation where first responders are needed immediately. So right now we see multiple crews out here continuing to work on this scene. But just take a look again at this damage here in this RV park. You have to imagine when, folks like Bob Breck and David Bernard tell you to try and refrain from taking shelter in a mobile home. The RVs are obviously even lighter out here, even smaller in some cases, and that's where we are right now. So you can see that damage. Those RVs just toppled over as if they were matchbox cars and a wind came through. Now, it's unclear exactly if this was where a tornado came through. We believe it may be, but it's something we're still looking into. And police are still assessing the situation, so we haven't had the opportunity to get some official information from them on the number of people injured or exactly the extent of the damage here at this RV park. But I can assure you that we'll be here through the evening assessing the damage, trying to figure out exactly what happened here. If you take a look down there at the ambulance, you can see someone being loaded into an ambulance right now. It is going slowly, so we are hopeful that that person is okay and just suffered some hopeful minor injuries. But as we were arriving here, there were a few ambulances that were making their way away from the scene here in Convent. So, of course, this is the very latest here in St. James Parish, and as soon as we have more information, we'll bring it back to you live. You can follow us on Twitter for the very latest here from Convent, and of course on Fox8Live.com. Right now, that's the very latest from Convent, where we're continuing to assess the situation. Of course, we'll bring you everything we know. Reporting live from Convent, Rob Krieger, Fox 8 News.
Now, Rob, apparently these would have been a lot of people who were on vacation and traveling across the country who would have been staying there? Maybe some full-timers or near full-timers?
Yeah, John, this area has a lot of plant workers, and in that case, it is my experience that several of these plant workers may travel from plant to plant. They tend to often live in a community like this, where it just is an RV. It likely isn't the case that these were people vacationing. These may have been full-time RV camps, just an inexpensive way to live near the plant. We do have Nucor is just about a mile down the road here. That's one of the major plants here in St. James Parish that came online just a few years ago. So you can assume that there may be some workers here and just some full-time residents. Very likely may have some vacationers as well, but this isn't necessarily the area where vacationers would come. More likely, this is going to be some full-time residents here living in this RV park. John?
Do you get a sense, Rob, of how widespread the damage is? I mean, obviously mobile homes and RVs, are notorious in a situation like this. But as we look at least its extended view through an extended lens, it looks like it looks like the place has been leveled. How widespread is it in reality?
Yeah, actually, it seems like it's almost a straight line straight through here. If you look at the picture, you can see that it just almost goes straight back through this RV park here. But on the left and right sides, save for the power lines that were ripped down here, which could happen for, a ways afterward. But let me get Lance to take a look over. You can see some residents here, one man maybe with a bandage on his head over here to the left, Lance, making their way up the levee away from the scene here. But just to give you a little anecdote, John, maybe about we walked from a street a few blocks down from where we had to park and actually ran into Jarvis Landry's mom, who was in a trailer just a couple blocks away from here. Her trailer was just fine, but she was telling me that it was an intense situation throughout this entire process, just hearing the noises and the sounds. And then now it seems like we have a little bit of lull in the rain as people are trying to, get their wits about them and figure out exactly what's going on. But again, John, it's just right here at this one park, this one instance. It seems that there may be some light wind damage on either side, but the majority of the you know, for lack of a better term, catastrophic damage. We have RVs just flipped on top of each other here, is all right here in basically one line. As you can see, another person here being loaded into an Acadian ambulance on their way transported from the scene here. And this is something that's been going on now for at least the last half hour that we've been here, and I'm sure that it's been happening much longer than we were here. John?
And Rob, as we look at these pictures of this man being loaded on, injured, I know this is Highway 44, and there's several streets around there, and as you just made the observation, it's like this particular RV park was hand-picked, because we see in the video that there's some houses very close by that look like they don't have a bit of damage. Isn't that sort of what you're seeing? Like if on the other streets everything's intact in some cases?
Yeah, you know, intact to an extent, you know, because the strong winds, there's obviously some minor debris, trees, limbs, things like that. Maybe some of these homes have vinyl siding, some of the vinyl siding ripped off. But again, Nancy, it just is this section right here that you see. And you know, unfortunately, this Acadian ambulance that you just saw the gentleman being loaded into will not have the opportunity to make its way up LA 44 and probably to one of the closest hospitals, St. Mary's here in Ascension Parish, which is the parish just over to the west of us here. So they'll likely have to make their way back around through St. James Parish to try and find you know, a way to the hospital there. So but you know, again, it's just this damage here is mostly confined to this RV park. You know, we've heard stories of people saying that, oh, well, the tornado or whatever it may have been just went through the woods and thankfully missed everything. But this is one of those instances where it seems like it, you know, this RV park unfortunately took a direct hit. But if you look over to the right side of this street here in the RV park, you can see multiple RVs just standing here as if nothing happened. So that kind of gives you a good idea of the level of destruction here at this RV park here in Convent.
In the meantime, there is some damage, quite a bit of damage in Laplace. Ryan Nakan is there.
Yeah, we are out here in Laplace right now, and you can just see large devastation across the area right here. We're on Greenwood Drive in Laplace. They have trees down. They got some flooding here, and you can see some kind of houses are ripped off of some homes. You've got cars damaged by what we've seen here. This is right off of Ormond Drive in Laplace. If you're coming down Airline Drive, you see right here just a tree snapped right in half. You've got the sheriff's office out here, and you've got some emergency crews cutting down and trying to get these roads clear right now. We were told that the farther you go down Greenwood Drive, actually you'll see more and more devastation. We just got here probably about 5 minutes or so, and you know, we haven't even made it far right now, but you see windows busted out. You see people trying to get into their homes. This lady right here is trying to get to her home right now, and just kind of look at it. Debris kind of strewn across the neighborhood right now and all across these houses as well. If we can walk a little further, Matt, this way, we can kind of see what we've got going on this way. You've got folks trying to make their way through right now to help everybody out. See, two large trees right here have come down. You got another tree over here right at this corner also came down. Talked to somebody not too long ago, a young lady, and I said, you know, did you hear what happened? Did you see what happened? She said it just came so quickly, and you know, they came outside and this is what they saw.
Let me tell you something. We were sitting on our couch and the light started flickering. So something told me to go to the back door to see what was happening. And soon as I looked out my back door, I just screamed and told everybody to hit the ground, because something ain't right, because the trees was going all kind of ways. When I told them to hit the ground, my front window bust out on my home. Okay, after that happened, we all came outside and went to the front door. We didn't understand what was going on, because I was in Hurricane Katrina, and I know the devastation that happened there. We came outside, my roof gone, I got water leaking inside, my neighbor tree on both of my cars is destroyed. My neighbor house, gone. They can't stay here. Cross the street, gone. It came straight through here.
We are in Madisonville, where we are seeing some of the most extensive damage we've seen throughout the day as we've covered today's storms from Mandeville all the way to Livingston. What we have lost here is a landmark boat launch here at the end of the road in Madisonville near the old lighthouse. I am joined by Madisonville Mayor Peter Gitz. And Mayor, this thing's been up here for quite some time.
About 60 years, if I can remember right, maybe a little longer than that.
Yeah, so it's clear here that a lot of people lost a lot and some lost everything here at the Sugar Mill RV Park in Convent in St. James Parish. We'll step away from a second. Difficult to see some of the response as it continues, but you can see a group of first responders gathering right there. They just walked up from the back of the RV park there. And if you tilt up a little bit, Lance, you can see a spotlight back there as crews continue to work. Now, it was about an hour ago I spoke with Sheriff Willie Martin, who told me that there was at least a couple people trapped at some point that his team was working to extract from beneath the debris, and unfortunately possibly at least one fatality, maybe two, still working to confirm on the numbers there. But dozens of injuries here at this RV park, including walking injuries and several people who've had to be transported away by ambulance, and in some cases multiple people in a single ambulance being taken to various hospitals across the area.
The destruction in this Laplace neighborhood stretches for about a half a mile. Here at this home behind me, 3 people were inside when the tornado ripped through. Amazingly, all 3 were uninjured. Now, certain sections of the Riverland Heights community are filled with debris, and pieces of people's homes are just thrown about the streets tonight. The tornado touched down here around 4:30 Tuesday afternoon, and so many people after the storm had to rush for cover because when the storm ripped off their roofs, the rain was still coming down heavily in this area. Now, just walking down the street, you can see dozens of homes destroyed by the storm. The tornado was so powerful it ripped off fences and even lodged one section of a fence about 10 feet high in a tree. One man says after the tornado ripped through, it took him several minutes to get out of his home because all of his doors were blocked by debris.
Seen a tree, I'm like, dang. So then I went, check on my neighbors, talk to them, make sure everybody was all right. Got my family together, try to get them to get their things as fast as they can so they could get out of here. But man, it's just, I'm still, kind of struck by what happened. It just don't even seem real.
My main concern was my gas filled up, my house filled up with natural gas, which there is no smell in there anymore. But as soon as I could, I just tried to get the snake out, and it's my daughter's snake. So yeah, cleanup effort is not happening tonight.
The cleanup effort will take some time in this neighborhood, and making matters worse is that there is no power in this neighborhood in Laplace, and so it's kind of dangerous when you even try to walk through right now because you can barely see where you're going. And this cleanup will take some time, as we've seen dozens and dozens of trees just strewn about the streets right now, and there is a cleanup effort that's going on throughout the night.